Going to be an absolute cracker, mate. We've got two huge announcements. Now, look, I like it as a bit of a pickle. That is
quite the pickle.
That's a big pickle.
Is the biggest fail I think I've seen.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's such a fail, there's no prize for that one, mate. Brings us on to what the old fella's been up to, mate.
Yeah, the old fella. Graham has been a busy boy, and that brings us to one of our big announcements.
Well, Jocko.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. I've already knocked the top of this one, mate.
Me too.
We're down in my shed, and if you can't tell, a couple of icy cold beers. Can only mean one thing, folks. We're doing beers in the shed.
Super excited, mate.
And I'm excited to do it with you as well, Jocko.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, and Sooty's here as well. Sooty Mark II, I should say.
I know. How good is it looking, mate? Just quietly.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. You've gotten a fair way.
We've really gone all out on this one, and what's kind of cool about it is we're utilising a lot of parts from Sooty Mark I.
That's good.
What's even better is I need to actually take this on our next adventure down to Tasmania.
That's pretty soon, mate.
Really soon. And at the moment, it doesn't actually drive. So
no, you got a bit to do.
We've got a fair bit of work to do, but today's episode of Beers in the Shed is going to be an absolute cracker, mate. We've got two huge announcements. Now, can I tell people?
I think there's a bit more we should get through first,
really
but I reckon we should.
It's so exciting. Well, can I give them a hint at least?
Give them a little treat.
The first thing is we've got a brand new show.
Yep.
Which is all new, you've never seen before. That's going to be hitting the Full Drive 24/7 channel. And the second thing is another massive announcement. We have a new crew member.
We do, mate. We do. Super excited.
A new team member has joined Full Drive 24/7. Now, there'll be more on that later, mate. But first, we've got a red hot topic to get into.
We do. Yep, that we do, mate.
What's this one all about, mate? Because this is something that you and I have talked about at length before. We've done it around the campfire a few times, like this with a couple of cold beers.
Yeah.
It's about time we brought everyone into the fold.
Yeah, mate. It's a real divisive one. Big builds. Have they gone too far? Is it easy to go too hard with a build when you're trying to build a four drive up to do, whether you're into touring or tough tracks? Mm-hmm. Where's the line? Where do you stop? There's so many awesome big builds going out these days. But
the way I said, I just got back from the Melbourne show, right? Mm-hmm. Just actually yesterday, and there was a lot of big builds. Mm-hmm. Especially you expect that at a four-wheel drive show. But the way I've seen it, I've been in the industry for about 15 years now. Over those years, heck, back in the magazine days, mate, if a vehicle had a winch, it could be a cover vehicle. It could be a standout vehicle. These days, for a vehicle to be quite recognised, it needs 6 wheels, it needs to have a coffee machine, or 2 preferably, in the back there, a hair straightener, all that sort of jazz in the back, multiple pie ovens. I guess the builds are getting a bit too out of control.
They are.
And is this changing the nature of our industry? Well, I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Let us know in the comments. Have four-wheel drive builds gone too far?
It's an interesting one. And I guess there's a couple of ways to look at it. Because obviously, if you've got a vision in your head, you can definitely go for it, for sure. There's nothing wrong with putting a sick build together, all the mint things that open and shut. But I would go out on a limb and say some of the most fun I've ever had in a four-wheel drive would be when they were pretty basic, like the Pony on the Bush Mechanic Challenge. It was on stock tyres, had a second-hand bull bar, and I don't think I've laughed that hard driving a four-wheel drive off-road, and it didn't have all the flash mod cons.
And you had fun, you drove out there, you camped for a few days, you four-wheel drive tracks, and you drove it back home.
Yeah.
So you ticked all the boxes, mate, and at the end of the day, that is a very budget build. What does that vehicle owe you in total, you reckon?
Well, now probably a little bit more since I've put gears in it and all that sort of stuff, but I still reckon all bought and built, it would be a sub 15 grand car, well under.
See, that's pretty good going in today's market, mate.
100%.
Exactly.
And then you look at Darryl, would be another example. That's
Darryl's
probably
a great example of a cheap rig.
That's probably a sub 5 grand car
Easy.
for a GQ.
Yeah, probably with the right, spanners thrown at that thing. It's come up an absolute treat. I guess this is my take on it, and I'm not the one to say you shouldn't have a big expensive build that's taking the fun out of four-wheel drive. I'm never going to say that. I've got expensive builds.
Me too.
And I love my 200 series. It's got everything on there. And if I wanted to run a coffee machine, I could. I don't have one in there. I don't think you need it. But I could run that. I could run whatever I wanted. It's a very expensive, and I'm very, very lucky to have such a rig. But I think what happens is there's so much of a mentality out there these days where people think you need a build like that before you can become a four-wheel driver. And that's simply not the case. And I guess that's where we're sort of coming from.
Yeah, that's the main thing. We're not saying you can't go and put those things in your car. If that's what you want, go for it. Go nuts. Go as hard as you want. But to get out there and see what this country has.
You don't think you need to, though. You don't need to. And one thing that I guess we've been advocates for many, many years is don't let the fact that you don't have the latest and greatest four-wheel drive with all the fancy mods thrown at it stop you from doing a trip of a lifetime. Now, we've said that for the last 15 years I've been shouting about this, and everyone in the team agrees as well. Because
100%.
the second you start putting off that trip of a lifetime, you're never going to do it, and you're gonna wait until your vehicle's at a certain level before you'll go to Cape York. Unless it has 3 lithium batteries in the back, I'm not going to Cape York. You're simply putting off the chance to make great memories, and I think that's not what four-wheel driving's about.
100%. Keep it simple. That's the best way to be.
And get out there and use your four-wheel drive more. That's what it's all about. Even if you've only got an esky, you don't have a fridge yet, guess what? You'll survive.
Well, mate, I guess just on that, keeping it simple, I think I'm a big fan of, and that's an interesting thing for me to say because I've got a very modified Hilux. But what I mean by that is not going too hard with builds in terms of the parts that break in particular, and the parts that you can replace. For example, on my solid axle swapped Hilux, yes, it's very modified, but the driveline is still factory Toyota, Hilux or Land Cruiser, the tail shafts, all that sort of stuff. A lot of the things that do break, you can get spares of. And the minute you go with these big builds, you want this engine with this transmission, with this diff. When you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's pretty hard to replace the parts. But yeah, that's not to say that you can't, get the build to the point where it is reliable. It's just, teething problems with four-wheel drives as well. When you are spending big money on cars, you need to expect that there's going to be a time once you finish the build and go through it all that you're going to need to figure things out. Something might not have worked the way you wanted it, or you want to swap things around. And that's, I guess, if you are going hard with a build, it's something to keep in mind.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Jocko, I've obviously put together the 3030 Mark II, which is a bit of a bitzer of a vehicle. It's got every type of Land Cruiser known to man under that thing. But at the end of the day, it still is quite simple. It is an 80 series with a 79 series motor, with a 60 series body. It still is all Toyota parts, and I know all the parts on it. So anything in the driveline's typically 80 series, but it's easy enough to fix. But the problem is when you go on a build and you go down the wormhole like that, and maybe you found this with your Hilux, it was about the first 2 years I was still ironing out little issues with that vehicle. Now, it's only probably on the last trip where I've gone, you know what, except for the rear locker not working, which is, that can happen, it has performed flawlessly for the first time.
100%.
And now I'm starting to get confidence in that vehicle. Even though I've taken it to the Kimberley and Cape York and places like that, I think I got lucky sometimes because then I'd take it to Moreton Island and it would break down. But the thing is now it's starting to come together. So that's one thing you need to consider with a big build is the more custom you go with it, the more issues you might have. It's always the case, isn't it, Jocko? When you modify the heck out of anything, you're going to have a lot of teething issues.
100%. So it's just ensuring that if you are going to do it, just have the time, if you are planning a Cape trip or something like that, maybe start on some smaller tracks first for maybe a couple of months just to see how things work. And it might be, iron out the bugs. It might be some things work fine, but they don't work for you. So you want to change the setup of how things are sitting and stuff like that. And that's definitely something to factor in when you are taking on a bigger build.
What about if you look at like a big build done right? A simple big build. Like, have you got any ideas?
There is one. Timbo's 79 from Mitts. Obviously that's not, it doesn't have different diffs and stuff in it. It's pretty much just a
stock
79.
standard 79 with some tyres and a lift.
100%.
Canopy.
It's got a pretty well-made, intricate canopy on the back, but it's still simple to live out of. It's a big build in terms of, it's not a budget build, but it works completely well, and if things break on it, it's like, yep, that's a part for 79.
And it's sort of a budget 79 build, if that makes sense. Because he's got,
as far as 79 builds go.
It's still budget-ish compared to some of our rigs. It's a bit over the top, but it is a simple 79 series. It's a work-made edition, a second-hand ex-Mines vehicle. He spent a bit of time and effort in the maintenance side of it, but at the end of the day, it's not too customised. He's got a nice canopy and tray on the back with a really trick camping setup. It can drive tough tracks, go anywhere. And how many times has that vehicle let him down?
Hardly ever.
No, exactly.
Lives out of it for months in the top end and stuff, and it's been
a few breakages. We'll blame that on Tim.
I think so.
Not the vehicle. But at the end of the day, that thing goes just about everywhere, mate. And you look through the D-Max and other rigs like that, they're not modified over the top, but they tend to, I guess, just last the test of time.
100%. Yeah, so I guess it comes back again to that keep it simple thing doesn't have to mean like a basic setup. You can still put some pretty interesting things on it, but making them simple to fix if you need to, and just keep it simple, I think, is a good...
It is. So I guess, Jocko, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you drive. I mean, if you've got a fancy 200 series like I've got that's chopped and all the bells and whistles, or you've got something like the old farm truck, which, you just pray each morning that she kicks over and starts, you can still have a lot of fun off-road.
Exactly.
You should never feel that just because you don't have 8 lithium batteries in the back of your four-wheel drive, you're not worthy enough to go up to places like Cape York or the Kimberley or use your four-wheel drive for what it's built for. Because at the end of the day, mate, Graham and I just got back from probably the most fun I have ever had in a four-wheel drive. And I can say that hand on heart, mate, because we went up to Cape York recently. We had the farm truck and the G60. Graham didn't even have a fridge in the back of his.
Yeah.
He had to borrow part of my fridge. I had to rent out a bit. It cost him a few beers,
Yeah,
obviously,
I bet it did.
But, you know, I had very, very basic mods on that. I have a winch, I have a snorkel, I have camp lights, and dual battery in a fridge, and that's all I've got, and it worked an absolute treat. Some of the places we got, and the best thing for you guys is you'll get to see all that really soon on YouTube, and it goes to show, mate, even on a budget, you can do some amazing trips.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I just got back from the glass house with Jesse, and it was, my side axle swap Hilux versus Daryl, and Daryl kept up with a very modified Hilux that I spent, 10 years trying to get right, and that's a cheap GQ that he had just as much fun in. I don't think Jesse wiped the smile off his face for the whole time we were there.
He would have loved it too, mate, in Team Nissan. But it's good to see, mate. It's good to see. And that'll be coming to YouTube pretty soon.
Yeah, very soon.
That's some really exciting content, folks. But before we get into what's coming up, actually, I want to put it to you guys. Let us know, have rigs gone too far? Has our industry boomed so much that it's almost become a sort of a case of the haves and have-nots? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. And the best comment is going to get themselves a Snatch recovery kit.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I'm going to personally choose that one, mate. And the best comment, let us know your opinion. Have rigs gone too far? Best one, recovery kit, mate.
Sounds
Brand
good.
new Snatch one. Well, it's just about everyone's favourite time of the show, competition time, and mate, this is one crazy competition.
Huge.
Now, Ruben is known to do some wild things, but I think this one takes the cake, mate, because right now at DMW, mate, they've got a prize which is absolutely epic. If you do win first prize, you get the choice out of his built-up 200 series, the chopped one, the 79 series, or $150,000 cash.
That is insane.
It is absolutely wild, guys. So it's really easy. If you do want to have a chance to win that amazing prize, and let's face it, who wouldn't, mate?
Unreal. Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Do yourself a favour and get over to the website, dmw.com.au. We'll put a link down below to make it really easy for you. And all you have to do is buy a gift card, and automatically you're in the entry.
That's insane. Gift card, you can get a 200 or a 79 or 150 grand.
So hard.
Oh, it's
that
hard.
200 is pretty good.
It is nice, isn't it?
I'd have that, I reckon, in a heartbeat.
Get your dad a brand new UHF and antenna from Oricom for Father's Day, or if you need to upgrade the UHF in your four-wheel drive, maybe it's time to treat yourself with this ripper deal from Oricom. You can get the UHF 360 and a 6.5 dBi antenna with free delivery anywhere in Australia for just $299. Normally, both of those together will cost you around $428, so you're saving around $129. And check out what you get. So this is the UHF 360. It's the exact same one I've got in the Pony, and what I really like about it is all the controls are on the handpiece. The transceiver is tucked behind the dash, and you get a really long cable, which means you can mount the transceiver pretty much anywhere you want in the vehicle. So it's perfect if you've got a modern vehicle or an older one like this and you just want a bit of a nice clean install, Pair that with a 6.5 black dBi antenna, which is the perfect all-rounder, and your dad has got the ultimate new UHF set up for his four-wheel drive. So jump on it quick and don't miss out. Go to oricom.com.au and get on it.
Now, I suppose it brings us on to what the old fella's been up to, mate.
Yeah, the old fella. Graham has been a busy boy, and that brings us to one of our big announcements. Brand new show.
Brand new show, folks. That's exactly right. Graham is actually hosting a caravan adventure show. Now, before you go, oh, that makes sense. He's got white hair and a white beard. That all sort of fits the bill. It's not like any caravan show you've ever seen before, because he's not going to be staying in caravan parks and all that jazz. Not a boring old-timer caravan show. This is a proper adventure one. And right now, he actually is up in Exmouth.
Really?
He's up in right in the middle of the Coral Coast, and he's doing all the WA coastline, showing some of his favourite spots.
He'd be at home there, wouldn't he? He'd absolutely be frothing.
He's absolutely loving it, mate. And some of the stories he's got to share is insane. And the cool thing is, you guys are going to see another side of Australia that we haven't really focused on. All those places we haven't gone with four-wheel drive 24/7. Graham's going to bring you a lot of, not just the stuff you're going to find in the tourist brochures as well. Graham's been telling me he's getting off the beaten track. He's showing places that are sort of secret little hideouts and stuff like that. So that's one not to be missed, mate.
This here encapsulates perfectly why I love being on the road, just travelling around, having a look at what you find. I didn't know this existed. I didn't know what was here. Parked up, came for a short walk. Get a load of this place. It is unfreaking believable. That's what happens when you just slow down a bit, get off the beaten path, get away from the super touristy areas. You find spots like this. There's a word for it, serendipity. Look it up.
Well, Jocko, just before we alluded to the fact that you've been out on a wild glasshouse adventure, I've been up in Cape York doing some crazy stuff. There's a lot of cool content coming your way. In fact, I think we've taken it to another level, mate. Full drive 24/7. We've raised the bar. Why don't you tell people what you've been up to? Because I see your Hilux in my driveway, mate. It's looking a little bit dirty too.
Luxie's just over there. Just got back from an epic trip with Jesse. We wheeled some Queensland tough tracks. Obviously, we did some in New South Wales earlier this year, and I wanted to see what Queensland had on offer, and boy, did it deliver.
Yeah.
There was some insane stuff. Jesse showed us around, and it was unreal.
Can you see maybe just a little sneak preview?
Yeah, have a little sneak.
I just drove like a Queenslander! Yeah, buddy!
No. Yeah, got me. And mate, the other thing we've been doing, which has been sick, spend a bit of time down the high country in the snow.
That was wild, Jocko. It's always good to go off-road with you, mate, but it's been so long since I've wheeled down in Victoria, and you quickly get reminded why that place is so gnarly, mate.
Absolutely magical, isn't it?
It's absolutely cool. Get a bit of moisture on those tracks, which isn't hard to do, and
Next level.
It can really turn it on, mate. And not to mention, like you said, a bit of snow and stuff like that. It just doesn't get much better. And Jocko, of course, I've been up in Cape York as well. Just before
everywhere.
Victoria, I was up in Cape York.
That's unreal.
A bit of a climate change. I've got a bit of adjustment when it was needed. But we took the farm truck, continued on from the old telly track, and went and tackled the Frenchman's.
Unreal.
And that track has kicked our butt before. I mightn't give away too much, mate. Let's just say it's probably the wildest I've ever seen the Frenchman's.
Deep?
Oh, mate, insane.
I'm
I think
keen to
my
see
seats are still wet in the old farm truck.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Water coming in hard.
Holy heck!
Wow. Off we go! Mate, it's a lovely sight. Seeing a couple of old rigs on the Frenchman's. It's one of those things right in the middle there. It's actually up to my neck. Going so hard I can't stand up.
Go!
I've got no brakes.
Oh!
And the other huge announcement, which I'm excited to share, not just with everyone here, but you guys as well, because you guys, you know this person. We've got a new team member for Full Drive 24/7.
Mate, Big Jesse Gleason, he's part of the team, part of the crew.
We've got another Nissan driver amongst us, mate.
I think it's even now too.
No,
Speaking of which, here he is. How are you, mate?
How are you, mate? Welcome to the team, big fella.
you.
I know you've been
Do you
out
wanna
with
shake my
Jock
hand
for the
too?
last week.
Yeah, it's been a drag.
It would have been tough work, mate. I'm sorry your first week was like that. But, mate, you're no stranger to Full Drive 24/7. And for the folks at home who haven't seen, you've done many trips with us before.
Yeah, I've been kicking around with you guys for probably about 5 years on and off, I think.
I'd reckon so. You were up in Cape York just the other week with
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And now you're full-time, officially part of the team. So now the cool thing, this is one of the reasons we like it, we like about you, mate, is you're one of the most passionate four-wheel drivers I think I have ever seen. Take us back where it all started for you, Jesse. When did you first get into four-wheel driving?
My old man's always been into it. Ever since before I could drive, I was driving with him, and that's all I wanted to do. And as soon as I got my license, I think the first weekend I was out in the bush.
Full
And my dad painted my car the weekend before. He wasn't stoked, but I was out there having a crack.
That's good, mate. That's good. And nothing has changed many years on, and you're still one of the most passionate people we've ever met, and that's why you're such a good fit for the team. Now, what is the plan moving forward? Now, you've obviously been up in Cape York with me. You've been out with Jocko.
Yeah, just done a week away with Jocko on some Queensland tough tracks, and Jocko was a bit upset that I drove pretty well.
I thought it was pretty even, I think, mate.
Well, I can't wait to see that video, boys.
Yeah.
That's going to be two pretty passionate drivers with tough rigs out driving what it wouldn't have been easy tracks, boys, right?
It wasn't, no.
It
It wasn't.
was some super hard ones. It would have been a bit of competition too.
A little bit, yeah. It got pretty heated at one point. We had a couple of blues at one point.
We wrestled a few times.
We did, yeah.
Very good, guys.
Yeah.
Very good. So you're going to be doing a fair few more trips with Jocko, with myself, with
Yeah,
the
got a few
with the
trips coming
team.
up, and couple of Nissan builds too, something a bit different. Yeah.
Couple of
Got a few
Nissan
things
builds.
in the pipeline, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. That's-
I don't know about that, mate.
What are you thinking? Like a GQ? GU?
Oh, there's going to be a GU involved, a
Ooh.
GQ involved, a G60 involved. There's
quite a few things. You
I
don't
have
want
a
to give the
question.
game away.
yeah.
How many patrols do you reckon you've had in your time? If you had to count. I know you can only count being a Nissan driver, only count to 10. But
Yeah, I'd probably have to take my shoes off the can, I think. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
A few?
Yeah, a few, yeah.
More
Had a
than
couple.
more than 20?
Oh, probably not more than 20. No,
Okay.
I've parted a few out, but I don't like parting them out unless they're really wrecked because I'm worried they're going to run out. I've
Yeah.
made a couple of good ones out of bad ones and sold them off, but yeah, I'd definitely have to take my shoes off the can, I think.
Well, mate, you've helped me on Sooty a little bit as well. We'll help as part of your traineeship with Forward Drive 24/7, mate. We'll help you get established with some more refined vehicles, better engineered vehicles.
Yeah,
so
well, just the other day we spent a few days working on this, and I definitely learned a lot. It was a lot different in this end.
you would have learned a lot about me too that
Yeah.
day, mate. But anyway, boys, look, I want to get into a deal now because we've got a really big deal coming up for Father's Day on the Forward Drive 24/7 website. So we've got 50 items from Snatch and other brands under $100. So if you're on a bit of a budget and you still want to get something for Dad, now is the time. We've got you covered. Also, if it's time to get a winch on your rig, now is the perfect time because you can get a Runva 13 XP winch for the front of your rig for only $888. That's a saving of $157. It does not get much better than that. Head to the website forwarddrive247.com and take advantage of that one, mate.
get on it.
Sounds good.
Right, now is one of the favourite parts of the show, mate. We get
Yep.
to duck inside your shed and see what you guys have been up to from your fails right through to the awesome rigs, mate. And Jocko, if you want to kick it off, mate, but just before you do, I'm going to announce the prize.
Ooh.
The winner, whoever we decide, is going to get themselves a Snatch Recovery Kit, mate.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Yeah, that's a sick
It's
prize.
all between the three of us. Let's think about it. And Jocko, kick it off, mate. What have you found?
Well, first up here, we've got little Luxie, 80 Series Hill and Menai. Now, I think we've seen this one before where he's put his hand out when he almost binned it on the hill.
Big no-no, that one.
Yeah, but it's a big no-no, but it seemed to have saved him. Not saying you should ever do it.
No, it's
but
very,
in this
very
case,
dangerous.
yeah.
Never do that. And didn't go very well.
Didn't go well
Holy
at all.
heck.
Yeah, no.
Holy heck.
Oh.
That's-
Anyway, he's come back for a night run for a bit of a redemption round,
Yep.
and he's driven straight up.
So from four-wheel drive fail to four-wheel drive hero in a matter of, not long.
Yeah, I like it. It's an old Luxie, just getting it done.
Getting the job done.
Yep, in Menai, that's where they belong, I reckon.
Yeah. I actually learned how to wheel out in Menai, mate.
Did you?
Some would say I'm still learning, but
Yeah, I would say that too. You mustn't have learned much.
but no, that's back in the old stomping grounds, mate. All right, this one here, mate. This was sent in Nate's 7th
That's
birthday.
cool.
That's
He
awesome.
wanted his mum to build him a gunshot cake.
That's
Now,
awesome.
As a fellow chef, I can see what's going on there. They've made a big old steep entry, packed it full of mud. It's just like gunshot, but
Looks
probably
like-
way tastier.
That one's pulling that one out by the looks of
Yeah,
it.
it looks like a
Happy
scene
birthday,
out of
Nate.
Forward Drive 24/7,
Yeah,
mate. But
100%.
that's an absolute classic.
Yep.
Oh, this is a nice one. I've got a bit of a soft spot for these things.
Do ya? Yeah.
Yeah, Pajero, yeah. They're like a mini Y62, independent front and back, and I've actually wheeled one of these.
Yeah.
And they're actually capable if you steer them right.
Yeah, it looks
And,
like this one's got a pretty
yeah.
cool setup in it. Got a little
Sleeping in the back, big
Yeah.
tyres. I think
drop
it's got
down
a
table.
Drawer fridge in the
Yeah.
back.
I won't lie to you. One of the nicest Pages
Yeah.
I've ever seen,
They
mate.
look
An
nice, drive nice.
NM
NM
Pajero. That's
yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah.
They're underrated, I reckon.
They are underrated, and that would be a sick tourer.
Yep.
Oh, definitely,
You know what they say? Pages get the prizes. Not in this case, though. We're going to move. We're going to move off this one and have a look at this one here. It's a
What have we
rock
got here?
crawler. It's a rock crawler.
Little RC.
Little RC rock crawler.
That's mad.
That is pretty cool.
These are so much fun.
I've never had a go.
awesome. Yeah.
I've never had a go of an RC crawler. Have you boys wheeled them?
Yeah,
before?
I have.
Yeah.
You know, you can spend big money on one of these if you want. You can get full locking diffs for them and stuff, and like,
It's out of this world. Imagine that. When the days you can't go full-wheel driving,
Yeah.
Just
whip
drive
out
that
the
around.
old
Drive one of them in your backyard.
RC in the backyard.
It's even got lights.
Yeah, no, that is pretty cool,
That's very
mate.
cool.
Pretty cool. Absolute rig.
Sick. Can I confess something? This is a sick little short wheelbase Defender. I've always wanted to build a Land Rover Defender.
Really?
Yeah, I've always wanted to build one. That is cool.
You know,
Clean.
They are pretty cool. They're kind of like Jeeps. You can buy a lot of bolt-on parts for them too.
Yeah.
I'd pick you as a bit of a closet Land Rover lover, mate.
Yeah, I just reckon they're sick. I reckon they look cool. This one is from Italy. That's pretty
Italy,
sick.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you get out and do a fair bit of wheeling over there.
Yep.
You'd be able to visit about 4 different countries in the time of taking you to Cape
100%.
York.
Yeah.
100%.
What about this one?
Whoa.
That is a big rig.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is, Jesse?
International, maybe?
I think it's, what, an S160, I think what
Yeah, I
they're
think
called.
so, yeah.
That's cool.
That's from
Yeah.
the States, is it?
Yeah, it looks like it. There he is in
You're not
Utah
road
rest
driving
area.
that in Australia.
No.
I love seeing cool rigs from different sides of the globe.
Yeah.
Like this one here, they can wheel just about anything over there. And it's probably got 38, 40-inch tyres or something crazy on it.
Just wheeling a 4x4 truck. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. Have a look at it. It really is a truck.
Yeah.
And super cool. But there can
Oh,
only
look
be
at that.
one winner, Jocko.
Yep.
So I've decided to give it to this one here. This is what it looks like. It looks like maybe it's on an 80 series chassis. I'm not sure. It's coiled up the front at least.
Yeah, it's got
It's
looks
cool
like
on the
trailing
back,
arms in
yeah.
the rear.
Yeah,
That's mint.
Probably on an 80 series chassis.
little
and
extra cab too.
Extra cab 45, 47 series.
That's unreal.
It's gorgeous. And
A lot of work's gone into that.
that's the thing that's impressed me about it. So congratulations. You're going to win yourself a snatch recovery kit. And have a look at this video.
Cal's Cruiser.
Yeah, very nice.
That's awesome. Look how clean that is.
Just like the
Yeah.
farm truck.
Well deserved, I reckon, mate.
It even self-drives. Look at that.
It even drives by itself. Just like the farm truck. It's done that a few times.
Yep.
Cops Harbour, remember that one? Down the hill.
Oh, how can I forget?
Well, speaking of fails, mate, I think we get right into that. I love this part of the show where we get to see you guys do your best at failing. And, we've all got our own fail stories, but it's just something
Plenty.
about seeing someone else fail just makes it so much better. Have a look at these guys.
Oh, that's salt water.
Silly.
What are they doing?
Oh,
Can someone please let me know in the comments?
Maybe they're trolling the fish.
That's the only thing I can think
Yeah.
of. Oh, Jesse, it's a pretty good assumption, mate. They're trying to get Taylor off the
there's
beach.
a whole bunch of
There's a
them.
whole tour of them.
Oh, don't drive your car through salt water like that. And if you do wash it like straight away, that makes me
wow.
go. Give me shivers.
Yeah.
He's into it. He's
I wouldn't
into
even
it.
do that in your car.
No. Yeah.
Far out.
They look quite new, some of those cars
Yeah.
too.
That is the biggest fail I think I've seen.
Yeah,
But
don't do that.
It's such a fail, there's no prize for that one, mate.
Oh, what's happening here, mate? This looks like a.
It's a beautiful 79
We hit the
series.
bank.
Oh no.
Oh no! Tried a wall ride, dog.
Big
That's,
kook.
that sucks. That looks like Ngala Rock, Fraser Island, and that's, you know what? There's quite a few rigs that have done that exact
Yeah.
same manoeuvre
Yeah.
on
It's
the
real
Ngala.
common, yeah.
Hopefully there was no damage because he laid on the sand to be soft.
I reckon there'd be a
Hopefully.
fair bit of damage. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Heavy
Fingers
rig to
crossed.
go
Yeah.
over.
Regardless, congratulations at failing because you have made the cut and the rest of the world can see your epic fail. Righto, what about this one
Oh
here?
no.
Time to do some mud bogging. What do we got?
End well.
Well, you know what's going to happen. You can guarantee from this point,
I was an Nissan driver, mate. I think we know what's going to happen.
it's just going to flood the
Gonna get
carpets.
deeper and deeper.
Yeah. Oh, there's
Boy.
water going in there for sure.
That is a big fail.
Yeah. Oh, he's still got.
Not yet. He might be a
moving.
hero.
Nah, that's
that's
him.
him.
That's
Nah.
him. Has he got?
That's
No
a
winch in
fail.
the front either.
Oh, that's gross. Imagine walking in there, your mate's just done that. I bet you a fair few people are going, yep, my mate did that. And
There'd be tide marks in the car and everything.
Big fail. What about this one?
Ooh, that looks. Is that seaweed all around it?
Yeah.
That's on a beach
That's not a good
in
spot to be stuck.
Western Australia. And he got himself, look, I like it, he says, in a bit of a pickle. That is,
Quite the pickle.
That's a big pickle.
I wouldn't be surprised if excavation equipment came out to rescue this one. What's that?
Triton.
Ah, well.
No real loss.
Oh, there we
Oh.
go. There's the guy who was giving Padgers a big run before.
Yeah, and Tritons are sick, mate.
Far out. And I just brought this one up. I found it in the comment section, Jocko. Jocko's going to be the biggest leprechaun I've ever seen. Good Lord. He's the king of the leprechauns. I just thought I'd add that there, Jocko.
I thought leprechauns were short. In which case, it'd probably be Graham and be a
That's probably
leprechaun.
more of a
Leprechauns
leprechaun.
get quite angry and aggressive though, and after being on a trip with you for a week, you
It's
do
a-
lose your temper quite quickly.
Yeah, it's that fiery redhead in me, mate. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fair
There's
enough,
a
I
couple
can
of
see it.
similarities.
Yeah.
Far out, far out. Well, there can only be one winner. I reckon we give it to the guy who was doing a bit of mud punching. You reckon?
The mud bogger, yeah, he'll probably
I
need
think
it.
he could
Yeah.
use the recovery kit.
Exactly right. That sounds like he needs a recovery kit more than anyone else. So congratulations, you won yourself a snatch recovery kit. So, what's his name?
Nugget Adventure.
Nugget Adventure, you've won yourself a recovery kit, mate. Put that to good use. And look, little tip, I'm sure you've learnt this by now, but maybe get a stick out and
Yeah.
just test
Well, the
it
mate
out.
who's filming, get him to walk it
No,
first.
actually, don't even walk it first. Just keep doing fails like that because you can end up winning cool prizes. So just
Walk
dive
it.
straight into the mud, I reckon. Well, guys, I reckon that just about wraps us up for today. My beer is getting seriously
Yeah,
low,
I think
mate.
I need another one too, mate.
Didn't
Yeah.
even offer me
Well,
one.
mate, you know the fridge is. You're a part of the team now, mate, and my fridge is always full of beers, which is always
100%.
exciting. But the good news is, folks, we have so much epic content coming
We
your
do.
way. We're so
there's
excited to
heaps.
share it with you. You guys have been on adventures. Graham's over doing adventures. We've been on adventures together. You and I have been in the snow together.
unreal.
Graham and I in Cape York. Yeah, I mean, with more
It's all
people on the
happening.
team
Yeah.
means more content. And that's just a great win for you guys. And like I said, I'm just very excited with what's coming up, and you should be too. And like always, guys, make sure if you can do us a big, huge solid, press that subscribe button and the like button. It's just those little things like that. Takes you about 30 seconds, absolutely makes it us able to do what we do. So,
100%.
So from the bottom of our heart, big thank you.
Thank you.
I'll race you to the beer fridge, boys.
Sounds good. See you next time.